Bitcoin is currently flashing this 100% accurate signal. Every time in the past this signal is flashed, massive upside is always followed for Bitcoin. Let's get stuck right into today's update video and we're going to discuss this. So what you can see is Bitcoin is actually broken above the 618 and 786 Fibonacci retracement, which always signals the bull market doors for Bitcoin in every previous cycle. And this is taken basically from the all-time high to the bear market low, and that will give you this zone. What you can see happened over the last couple of weeks was Bitcoin actually came all the way back up and touched this on the day that the Bitcoin spot ETF was launched, and then we had the massive cool off. And then whenever realization set into what was happening, Bitcoin just took right off and has smashed straight through this zone. Now, what does that mean? Let's go back in time and have a look at what's happened. So you can actually see that we actually found our bear market bottom exactly off this zone, but we're going to ignore that. And we're going to come back down here. And look, this was the last cycle for Bitcoin, okay? So what actually happened was it actually came up and tested it and came all the way back down. Now, if it wasn't for the COVID crash, I believe that Bitcoin would have started its run a lot earlier than it did. However, the COVID crash did happen, and as you can see, what happened was once this zone broke, this is when the exponential gains for Bitcoin started. And again, if we go back to the cycle before that, all the way back to, what was this, the 2014 cycle, we zoom in here, this is what we see. Same thing happened. As soon as this zone broke, you can see massive gains came in for Bitcoin, and this has not been wrong once. On the short term, however, Bitcoin does seem to be losing its momentum a bit. As we can see right here, it is creating a bearish divergence and it's starting to play out. What we can see is the price action has been making higher highs and the RSI has been making lower lows on the 1 hour chart. So it does seem like it's losing steam on the very short term. However, will this last? That's what we're going to find out in the next couple of days. I would kind of like to see it cool down a little bit. It would be very healthy for Bitcoin to cool off, maybe even come back to the $58,000 range, and then we could consolidate and make that next leg up. One absolutely massive thing that I would like to mention is that the Bitcoin halving is only 54 days away. In 54 days, the Bitcoin block reward is going to get cut in half. The amount of Bitcoin produced every day is literally going to be cut in half, which is going to amplify this insane supply crisis that we're seeing right now for Bitcoin. Everyone is panicking to get as much Bitcoin as possible before it's all gone. While we're on the topic of the Bitcoin supply crisis, let's have a little look at this. So what we can see here is the BlackRock Bitcoin spot ETF actually seen record volume. There was just about $6 billion traded on the ETFs. That is absolutely wild. And the BlackRock ETF alone had $3.3 billion of volume traded. This just shows us the insane FOMO that's going on right now for people diving to get into Bitcoin. Here was the actual spot ETF inflow and outflow table. GBTC had a massive outflow of 216 million. However, the entire inflow, the net inflow, was $673 million. That is absolutely wild. Today, for the Bitcoin liquidations, we can currently see that there was $359 million got wrecked, that got liquidated in leverage trades. This is very good, very healthy. That was on that pullback that we've seen, flushing some leverage out of the market. In fact, yesterday there was $800 million wrecked out of the market. Again, this needs to happen. This is normal. We're going to see these big flushes. And back to the supply crisis. Just to put things into perspective for you, I want you to have a look at this. There's 900 Bitcoin produced every day, and the spot Bitcoin ETFs bought 9,163 Bitcoin. If this keeps up, there's not going to be much Bitcoin left for everyone. In fact, adding to it some more, MicroStrategy has acquired another 3,000 Bitcoin for $155 million. They just keep stacking and stacking. They now hold 193,000 Bitcoins. Absolutely mental. We can actually see that the Bitcoin miners are starting to cool off as well. We've got the same bearish divergence playing out right here. We've got a higher high. We've got a lower low on the RSI. This is turning into a bit of a rising channel. I would imagine that this sort of wants to break down. We are sitting on the support, so we're going to see how this plays out over the next couple of days. In my group, which you'll find a link to in the description below, I will be taking positions on Marathon Digital if we decide to break down. Once we break down, I will be selling some puts to accumulate some more at some lower prices before this also goes parabolic. But more on Marathon Digital in another video. Anyway guys, this was a very quick Bitcoin update video. If there's any other stocks or coins you'd like me to look at and do some technical analysis on and look at the fundamentals, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.